marketable skill, remembering that Paul sometimes supported himself by making tents. See Acts chapter 18, verse 3. I was also influenced by the fact that Jesus hadn't begun his public ministry until he was about 30, and that elders are typically older men. I wanted to be in a position to provide for my family if full-time support in ministry was not possible. After I completed college, I went to work as a financial consultant for the company that is now called Accenture, where I worked among driven, successful people in an extremely high-pressure, competitive environment. Then the Lord took my family to Saudi Arabia, where I worked for a former client, ExxonMobil, while also serving as a tent-making pastor. The time in Saudi was richly rewarding both spiritually in the underground church and financially, since we were paid very well. As we worked and lived among people who were making more money than they had ever imagined, we watched how some foolishly wasted that bounty, while others acted more wisely. At a very young age, we had to learn how to manage our newfound wealth, facing challenging choices of how much to spend, how much to save, and how much to give away. We also learned a lot about investing through both the wise and the unwise choices we made. After we were kicked out of Saudi Arabia on religious grounds, I attended seminary, where we were with students who were struggling financially as they tried to take care of their families, engage in ministry, and pay for school. Since completing seminary, I have been engaged in local church pastoral ministry, biblical counseling, and leadership training. In addition to counseling people about their financial problems, I have discovered that many people with other presenting problems also have major financial challenges. We have watched others make disastrous financial mistakes, often involving family and friends. We have worked with people to make budgets, get out of debt, and save for the future. I have continued to be a bit of a financial junkie. I read the Wall Street Journal every day, and I devour books that deal with financial issues. My hope in writing this book is to combine my background in finance with my theological training and my practical counseling experience in order to be a blessing to Christ's church. This book, like my marriage, divorce, and remarriage volume, is arranged around questions and answers. Some people might choose to read straight through the book. Others might find it useful as a reference by which they can seek wise biblical answers for particular issues as they come up. I want to acknowledge that I have learned much from others who have written on the topic of finances, including Randy Alcorn, Larry Burkett, Ron Blue, Howard Dayton, and Dave Ramsey. I have sought to give credit where credit is due, but I'm sure that many of my ideas are among those gleaned from many sources over the past 40 years. Given that God's Word is the ultimate source of financial wisdom, it should not be surprising that many of us have some similar things to say. My hope is that my perspective will be a useful addition for the glory of God. Why do we need another book about finances? I have 3 primary aims that I hope will make this book stand out. 1. Our goal is not to be debt-free or to be wealthy. Our goal is to glorify God in all things, including our finances. 2. Our objective is to present financial wisdom that is grounded in faithful biblical exegesis and rooted in sound theology. 3. This book is meant to be a reference for individuals and counselors to discover the Bible's answers and apply them to the most common financial problems and questions that people face today. Part 1. General Principles. 1. How can the Bible speak to our modern, complex financial issues? You picked up this book because you need wisdom about your finances. Perhaps you're having a difficult time making your mortgage payment, or you're in a dead-end job with little opportunity for advancement in responsibility or salary, or you feel that you are buried in debt from student loans and credit cards. You might wonder what the Bible, which was written thousands of years ago, can have to say about your problems. In biblical times, people didn't have